Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading video. It is before midnight, early for me. I figured I would do the reading because I did it again. I didn't read through a recipe, so I'm currently making sourdough right now. And I knew that for the lifting and folding part, it's like doing it 4 times, one each hour. So I knew that part, but there's also the um, other fermentation period before that where you had to wait 4 hours before doing that. So I started it around, or I finished putting it together around 8. So I feel like the other parts of the recipe will start around midnight. And I was thinking it would be a sooner bake, but eh, I am going to study more. I've been studying. I even studied while I was out with my parents because my dad wanted to go out to eat, and we went to this buffet, and it was so um well, it had a line, and it was a really long line that stretched uh from like a corner on um each side. And um I felt kind of bad because I went somewhere to sit because my phone was dying as it usually does when I'm out. I feel like I charged my phone, but when I was there, it was like at 6%, and they were gonna call me when the seats weren't available. I'm gonna pull out the cards. To my surprise, they also invited my godbrother, who brought gifts for them and for both of my parents. And I was like, okay, I don't have any gifts, but I'm making bread today, and that'll be finished tomorrow. I did do the sourdough discard crackers. So for the sourdough, you'll have some of it where you'll end up not using it or discarding it, whatever you want to do with it. So you can set it aside to add to other recipes or like make things with it. The crackers were so good. Um, they're so flavorful. They're almost cheesy. They kind of taste cheesy to me, even without adding cheese. I did do a section where it was cheese for my parents, but I honestly don't think like it was necessary. So the fan is on me, or on this area, and this turned over, so it's the King of Pentacles. I don't usually turn the cards over. And I've been studying for exams, or an exam that's in 2 weeks, and a test that's in 2 weeks. So putting together the questions for my um, notes to study off of for the exam. And then for the other test, it's on a larger assortment of the drugs that we've learned in certain weeks. So I've been studying those. And um, I was just surprised with the message because I don't usually get text messages, and my phone hates me for it because I've been trying to clear my phone, and I'm like on a group chat with other people that are in my class, and it's a small group. And so one of them just texted me specifically in the group chat saying that if I wanted to make banana bread for the potluck, I could, because she was thinking about making, or she didn't know if she would want to make it. Um, so I was happy. I am re Well, I think I'm happy with how the cinnamon rolls have been turning out. I am slightly reworking it, but I am overall pleased with the results. Um, and I'm trying not to make like sourdough. Well, I could make sourdough cinnamon rolls, but I'm trying not to make like sourdough after I keep saying sourdough, so maybe I am going to make it. Um, cinnamon roll after cinnamon roll after cinnamon roll because it's a lot to eat. Like it's one of those really they're the heavier dessert even if you are using substituted ingredients. So I am trying to make it sparingly, but I do want to make the recipe. I kind of wanted to see what it would be like to do cinnamon roll, sourdough buns or rolls. Cinnamon sourdough rolls. I feel like the order of those words aren't great, but they're, it's it's like a really nice treat. And um, to go back to where we ate, I'm not surprised that there were like people lined up because the food was actually really delicious. Like when you go to a buffet, like you kind of have, I think I might go back to maybe eat this or that, but I didn't put too much on my plate, but I was thinking, man, I would eat all these things that I had on my plate again. I did pick off meat off of one of them, but other than that, I there's like ham or something. They're on a eggs Benedict, and um, other than that, like, but that was me. I already knew that it was on there. And did I pull out all the cards? And I finished the ribbing on my Yordana for the top, not for the other parts of the sweater. The Yordana sweater, so this is what it is right now. And it's not necessarily going to be like a turtleneck because it's going to stretch once you add more, but now I'm at the part where I'm going to be shaping it, so I'm going to pay attention with that. And I'm happy I switched to the larger needles because you kind of feel what needles you like using with certain yarn. So, um, of course, a lot of patterns, not all of them, they have you go like a size or a couple sizes down to make the ribbing go zoop, and that's the technical term of it. I am loving the way that it's turning out, and I think it's going to be so fun with the contrast color being red. Um, it's going to be like one of those older sweaters that I have. I feel like it's going to be a staple, and I love the sizing of it, especially with doing a large color work. You're I feel like you'd want a little more wiggle room with it because of the um, how it tends to be when you're putting color work in that area, and you want to have like your arms to um, move more freely. And I found a new obsession. It's like the Lear, I don't know if I say it right actually. Lyra, Lear harp. And I've always loved the harp. Um, I didn't learn the harp growing up, but I learned other instruments growing up. And um, I love the songs that you could play because sometimes when you're using certain instruments, the songs like go with the instrument. And the latest one that I've done is the whistle, the tin whistle. And I don't know if I'm like um, that type of instrument where you have to control your air and just breathing, because sometimes when you have to get to certain notes, um, I feel like I'm out of breath. And that's not even a big instrument. So I have played other string instruments. So I feel like this could be something to do. But I'm trying not to keep like packing on the different hobbies. Because I also wanted to do something specific. I wanted to make a birdhouse for the backyard because there's mainly the pigeon couple that drops by, and for some reason I was like thinking popsicle sticks or something, but I feel like I might make it with something else because I was thinking like, ooh, a popsicle stick coliseum, because I just have the energy of wanting to do this thing and that thing. Not like physical energy, but a part of it, I guess, could be physical energy, but my mind just wants to do so many things, and then I just get, I just have stuff because I end up doing those things, and then um, it fed my interest, and now, well, and then you want to do like other things, but I tried to like make sure that they could be hobbies that I could, well, carry with me and also be interested in it for long periods of time. And I am just surprised at myself for the past couple of years how much I haven't used tarot like I used to. I still love tarot, But if you told me when like 10 years ago, when it was almost at its peak of interest for me, and not peak like PIQUED, but like at the top, like PEAK, where I just couldn't see myself doing other things. I just wanted to learn and do everything with tarot. And now I do other things. I. Good thing I didn't say what I was going to say because I was literally going to say there is mainly, if not all of it, was minor arcana. And then I flipped over the Hutzel Tarot, and that deck is the deck that has three major arcana cards come out. So, and then the cards that I have in my hand: the Ten of Air, Ten of Swords, the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change, expect things to get better now, recovering from an addiction. And you don't have to go word for word, but it gives you an idea of what it could be like with the message. And then the Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles, the power of creativity, recognition for high quality work, be a team player. With this reading, it almost feels like it's a determined energy of you might be a team player, but at the same time, you want to do as much as you can to help your team out. There's a little bit of this exhaustion or fatigue in it. It's not like you're tired of doing the work, but it's almost, I mean, you could be tired of doing work, but it just seems like the more that you do, it's not to what your standards are. Like, I feel like you're trying to reach like this goal or like this person, and um, for some reason, this feels a little bit of like reassurance here. And even with the Ten of Swords, because with the Angel Tarot, it kind of gives like a soft reflection and interpretation of the cards, especially with cards that might not be the cards that people would want to see. And the Ten of Swords is definitely one of them. I feel like with that there, with the Three of Pentacles, it's almost like you're doing your job, um, and it's kind of giving a little, not a break, but let other people do some things too, because you don't have to just do everything. And the first card that came out again, the King of Pentacles, and with the obstacle, it's the Eight of Wands. Have how to overcome the obstacle. There's like a lot of Wands energy and Pentacles. I say that I feel that to some decks they switch the elements of fire and air. I'm not saying that completely, but um, with this card, it kind of feels like long-winded, or like the energy getting wiped out or like knocked out of you. And um, They're saying they're excited for my cinnamon rolls. So sorry, I'm like going through the point where you want to bring as much food as you can, but the professor specifically said don't bring too much food because people are going to eat a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and there's usually a lot left over. So I'm trying not to do that, but I kind of want to do it, and I really want to see what the um, sourdough cinnamon rolls taste like. Honestly, I feel like it would be really delicious. But back to the reading. See, but a little bit it kind of like contradicts itself because here it's like a boxer, and that is kind of like a one on one fight. So it could be continuously working at it too. And it kind of is like I'm familiar with this because I was born in Philly, and one of the main movies is, or this series of movies, are the Rocky ones. I don't really know them that well, but I know of them just because that would be associated with my name. I wasn't like named after um, the wife in there, but towards the end, they're like Rocky yells, "We did it!" It well, no, he's me not even know. I don't because I didn't see it, but it's like he yells, "Yo, Adrian, we did it!" because they got married, and so he was like in a boxing tournament. So I feel like there could be like an energy of emotional support too with that Nine of Wands and trying to do more for maybe like the person or a cause. And even when you don't feel like you're doing as much as you can, I feel like there's an energy saying that you're doing a lot more than what you think. Oh my god, I literally was seeing like the application. I was just curious. Well, I was looking that up about like the working in like medical units, and they're like, "Are you fluent in Ukrainian or Russian?" And technically, no, but if they're looking for an explanation potentially in the future, it would be a long time, but potentially. So it just feels like energy out of grass, but at the same time, it's like with the temperance card there, I feel like there's something that really wants to wants you to calm that energy down. And it's major arcana too. So the past is the Two of Pentacles. So I'm not saying there isn't like anything that could happen in terms of obstacles. Because the Two of Pentacles can be a card where it's like not the smoothest path. But you have the Three of Pentacles with the Ten of Swords saying, I'm sorry, I keep getting this, I'm not looking at it, but um, maybe towards the end. I I feel with the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Air, and the Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles, it's like kind of saying that what you've gone through with the Two of Pentacles, it's those specific things, and I don't want to say types because again, this is a reading that can stretch and then you can take it anytime you feel like it relates to you, or you can listen to it. It might be nice to just listen to or to reflect on, or learn from. But then there's the Page of Swords towards the end. So it does feel like a little bit of, even though it's like the lowest of the court cards, not saying one is better than the other, but just in order, it's the Page Knight Queen King. It just feels like a little bit of like, sorry, Phoenix energy, where it could have been like in the slump type of energy with the Nine of Wands. Kind of reminds me of the sourdough starter that I've been working at, because they're like, you don't really need to throw out the starter unless you see mold, and even if you see like the liquid that's in there that kind of looks like black, um, or dark, it just means that there's fermentation and it needs to be fed. So it is something that you can keep working at to see results and to just not give up on it. Um, that's kind of like a takeaway from this too, that don't give up when it just started, even though I don't think it just started, but maybe it just feels like one of those days because there's a lot of minor arcana here. It might be one of those days where you're like kind of wanting to take a drastic turn to do something that maybe is, you might want to like look to see down the road, um, what else evolves, and there could be other turning points that you won't see until later. You have other major arcana, so there's the Magician here and the Justice card. So you could say that there's a little air because air, well, the Justice card is associated with Libra, and then with the Magician card, you're taking all of those elements and kind of, there could be a focal point to this, because maybe, and it could even be intuitive and not really in a knowing too, just because like what if you had this interest like a couple years ago when you were younger, and then you took on this hobby and that hobby, and then somehow it evolved, and years later, you found yourself in this specific position where it somehow comes in handy. um, I feel it was kind of a little predetermined in a way, and I'm not uh, saying the relations or the similarities of Russia and Ukraine, but I'm just saying that when I was younger, I was like 12, and I told my parents I wanted like Russian language lessons. And I don't know there was any correlation with anything. I just said that I wanted it. And that's what they did. They gave me Russian language lessons. And now, again, not saying they're the same, it just was an introduction to like the alphabet. And so it wasn't um like a completely new discovery. Of course, I'm still, I don't know what you would consider, because I don't know if I would be a novice, but there's still so much to learn about it. And um, there might be the difference of holding on to something until you feel like you'll need it, but sometimes those occurrences are so specific and somehow align later in life. So I'll read what it says in the book for the yew tree. And it is 13. It was Friday the 13th the other day. Someone's like, does anyone want to bring fruit? Someone else is like, when is the potluck? And um, I would like fruit or the trees with yogurt. I feel like everyone wants to bring so much food and um, will realize. But then maybe someone could bring like containers or things to take the food home with, just because it's like if there's gonna be a lot of leftovers, that's one of the best things is to have leftovers. I tried not to eat too much at the buffet. I just ate until I felt like I was ready to be before full because I don't want to overindulge myself and then it's not going to be good for my stomach. I even didn't get a lot of sweets because um, I had a feeling that they probably put milk in things like with the pies. Like it's really not necessary to put milk in pie. I don't think it's necessary. I love the pies that I make. So, uh, and even the cream puffs, I mean, cream, but you could substitute it, but I highly doubt they did substitutions for that because they had like a, some filling underneath, which I'm sure I did taste it because I didn't know it was in there. It's really delicious, but I was not going to eat too much of it. I mainly had like the sherbet ice cream, and it was a nice quality one because it didn't even taste like sherbet that you would get at the store. And they had like gelato, but um, I asked, and they were saying that it probably has milk in it. So, you, the oldest of the Norns, Destiny's loom, the yew lives at the source, at the firstborn root of the tree of eternity. It is from here that the rainbow that holds the world together rises. And it is here that the true treasure of all legends lies, wisdom, eternal youth, and the secret riches of eternity itself. Not the endless past, nor the interminable future, but the eternal present. The angel of you is so deeply rooted in timelessness that the yew tree can easily outlive even the oldest London. As long ago as the Stone Age era, the yew was the symbol of eternity and the dance of changing forms in nature and power of self-rejuvenation. The yew is the great goddess's womb from which all life springs forth and to which all life returns after death to be born again. Since the Yu leads the soul through the dance of forms, it has been planted and summoned in graveyards. The gift of the Yu, this archetypal mother, is transformation. Be ready to renew yourself in this world or the next, and to transcend your present boundaries. What is it that really matters in the face of death? Even death loses its thorns in all consuming light of love. Only true change motivated by love matters. On which side of death's doorway takes this place is secondary to love itself. This is because for celebrations, as we are all safe and secure within ever-changing dance of love, without used strength, which is to see all aspects of life in relations to death and eternity, we lose ourselves completely. If love no longer informs our consciousness, we become contaminated by fear. Fear of death translates into fear of life itself. Fear of the unknown, of the night and the future, fear of knowledge, fear of true self. So we try to distract ourselves with via consumerism, pleasure seeking, and abuse. Even the last bit, it kind of, or not super related, but I added more to my um, playlist for my international playlist, and well, I'm happy that the international playlist is like has over 1,200 views, which is nice because I am happy when I see maybe people enjoy the playlists. I don't know if I make them too long. I don't know if I should split the playlist or anything, but it's kind of nice having certain categories at least, so you don't have to go like in when you're shuffling the songs that you have. Like if you had an old iPod and even like on your phone and you shuffle the songs, you can go by genre. I'm pretty sure you can. But a lot of times you just like do the shuffle and then you get like random songs that are next to each other. So I've been mainly listening to Burn Time Machine, Blind 8, what is it called? It's kind of like a combination of different genres and oh, and Matanka. I would say with Burn Time Machine and Blind 8, they kind of remind me of like emos songs. And with Blind 8, um, I've read they're a band from Ukraine, but uh, when I first listened to it, I didn't think they were a band from Ukraine because I thought they were like an English band. So, um, that plays, well, it didn't play while I was listening to it with my headphones. But if I'm not with my parents in the car, that would be stuff that I play. I tend to listen to, it's weird, I mainly listen to the alternative punk playlist, and now with the international playlist, I'm adding more of those types of songs. Um, those are like my morning songs that in afternoon, and I tend to transition to the other international songs at night. Um, but now it's kind of like a mixture, so I can listen to it at any time, but I um, now listen to the international music throughout the day. And sometimes I did throughout the day too. But maybe it was to wake me up. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. I'm gonna see about. I don't know if I should bring fruit. I keep telling myself she said not to bring too much food, but I'm also thinking now if I should bring like an extra container for me to bring food home because that's the best. So I'll see you in another video.